Hi everyone, it's been a little while since I made a last video on the C Evolution, and I thought I'd do something a bit different today, and that is to actually start to show a couple of the other EVs that we've got at the moment in the house. So I've got my bike, my wife has her car, and I've also got my car, and we've got two other little EVs which not quite vehicles registered with the DVLA necessarily, but we'll start to show you a little bit more just on each of them. So I'm at the spot which is probably one of my favourite places to charge, which is Sainsbury's. Nice free charging, and I'll just show you very quickly now the car that I'll take you around next, which is our Audi A3 e-tron, which is from 2015. So here she is. So I must admit, this is probably my favourite EV in a very strange way, and you might be surprised just given some of the other EVs that we've got. Obviously we've got the electric bike as well, but we use this car every single day, and primarily because it's the dog car, so it gets most dirty out of all of them. But it's a really unique spec, so I'll just walk you around it and just start to talk through just the mega specs that this car has. So it's a 2015 Audi A3 e-tron. It's got a 1.4 litre TFSI engine. It is a plug-in hybrid, so it's got a I think it's about an 8.6 kilowatt hour battery, and the A3 e-trons, they've got their own badge. It's a bit hard to see, but you can see it just behind it there. What's quite nice with them is that the location of the charge point is up front, and the badge actually flips across, so it's quite nicely hidden. But as you can probably tell, it's a really unique blue color, and that's probably one of the best options that this car has at the moment. It is a what they call an Audi exclusive color, so it's a special paint shop or a special order vehicle that you can only get when you spec it basically from scratch. So and this car literally has every single option pretty much ticked on it. So the color is called Nogaro blue. Some people refer to it as Noggy blue, which you might have seen quite a few times on things like the Audi RS4 and RS6s if people have spec'd them. And it comes with some really nice 18-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels. The other thing you can probably see on the outside at the moment is that it's got factory tinted windows on the back. My wife absolutely loves this. And also one of the best bits is that it comes with the panoramic sunroof. That's actually quite a rare option. You don't see it as often as you might expect, but a lot of the Audi A3 e-trons, they were company cars. They were kind of don't want to say poverty spec, but they were relatively low spec because they were cheap for business purposes. A few things we've changed ourselves as well. So I've actually changed the wing mirrors to suit which basically come from an S3 RS3 style, and I've actually also changed the indicator, so you'll see it in a second, hopefully. Oh, whoops! I think I've got the ignition on the inside, but you should be able to see actually the indicators blinking from left to right, or from right to left, depending on which side. So what else? So this car actually comes with the option of black roof rails as well. So the roof rails were an option, as was the color essentially. And once we go on to the inside, yeah, I did have it on. Oops. Here we go. So you can start to see some of the options that it has. First of all, like, it's just really lovely on the inside. I love the black interior. And yeah, maybe just to run through a few things. So it actually comes with cruise control, and it's adaptive as well. So, and the way that you can actually tell is, and not every single A3 has that, but you get a little radar detector just on the front of the grille there. So if it's got one of them, then it's got adaptive cruise control. The other thing that's quite rare that it has is lane assist, and you can just see the picture of that over there. And there's a few options that actually came with it as well. So it also has, oh, what is it called again? Do you know what? It's lane assist, and there's another option which I've forgotten the name of at the moment. Another option that I added myself is just a set of aluminium pedals, so it just makes it a little bit nicer in my view. But one of the best options, in my mind at least, is the Bang & Olufsen. And I've had an Audi A8 before with B&O, and it was the best sound system I had ever had from a factory. I've had aftermarket factory setups before, and I must admit that Audi A8 was excellent from the factory like that. And this one is no different. So there's a nice little subwoofer in the back, and yeah, it's if you love your music and you love playing it loud, then this is definitely the one. What else have we got? We have got heated seats, which is really nice. We have got a reverse camera. Probably won't be able to show you this because I'm still plugged in, but I installed that aftermarket myself. And I might see if I can show you just a little bit more. So the other thing that you can do is actually go into the settings, the car systems, and when you actually go to auxiliary AC, you can set to have the heating switch on in the morning automatically. You can also do this via the Audi app that comes with it. A lot of the time it doesn't really work as it should do necessarily, so it's a bit yeah, temperamental at times, but it does allow you to kind of set day by day, kind of if you want to get the car defrosted in the mornings. Particularly if you have it plugged in, it's really nice because it basically takes the electricity straight from the mains rather than from the vehicle battery, so you end up leaving with a full battery after all. And here you can just see the 28-mile range electric, and the rest at the moment with a full tank of petrol, 385 remaining miles. I must admit, since Corona we filled up once, and as you can see we have not used any of the fuel side of things, so we've still got a full tank. Probably worth mentioning, so you do have an indicator on fuel just on the right there, but we also have an indicator on the electric battery that you can just see over here essentially, but generally speaking I don't tend to use that as much of a visual indicator. It's really the miles in green that you see there. The other thing worth mentioning, so it is a high mileage car. It was we think it was spec'd by someone from VW Audi Group from head office, because we think it's a Milton Keynes car. It's done a ton of miles in a space of 4 years in total. It had done about 130,000 odd miles since we got it. But what's nice is it actually had the battery replaced. So there was a recall for many of the Audi A3 e-trons where the battery casing was leaking slightly in some cases, and for anybody that basically all calls got recalled, they either checked it and didn't replace the battery, or they did replace the battery if they felt some moisture had gone inside. So we were lucky enough to get a new battery, and so yeah, hopefully many more trouble-free miles ahead for us. I'll show you just a few other things as well. So this is a very high mileage plug-in hybrid car. What I want to show you is here we go, e-tron statistics. So we haven't had it that long, so this was just today. I drove 1 mile and 98% on electric, but you can also go down, and this is the last 1,400 miles, so I did reset it, but just to give you a view. So we haven't obviously done that many miles because of Corona, and so this is probably about 3 months worth of driving at the moment, and 76 miles have been done completely electric. And we just had one very, very long journey from London to Portsmouth and back, where we ended up using the fuel side of things. It's got leather seats, which is brilliant, and it's actually pretty well spec'd overall. The reason we chose black as well is because we've got a dog. Having a dog makes it incredibly yeah, you just need to make sure you can easily take all muddy paw prints off it and that type of thing. So as you can see, we're fully charged at the moment. It's got a nice little display saying 28 miles, and it's probably maximum in this weather is 20 miles without the heater on. And maybe just to mention a few other things actually. So as I kind of open or start the ignition, it's got some nice features as well. So the heater actually that you've got here, so it does have a pretty decent heat. The downside is that it's not a heat pump. It's very rare to get a heat pump in a plug-in hybrid anyway. But what it basically means is that it uses electricity straight from the battery to heat the entire cabin, and that that can be quite energy draining. So in the winter time, if I've got the heating full on, when it's kind of -5 for instance, then you typically only get about 14 miles to full charge. Again, absolutely fine for the kind of driving that my wife does, but it does make a big difference having the heater on. But in a nutshell, this is the one of my favorite EVs. It's really nice to drive. I love the sound system in it, and I'll show you just quickly in the boot. It's a bit messy, unfortunately, but just done my shopping. But the boot's not as deep as a normal Audi A3, and that is because the battery's just hidden under there at the moment. The car is very similar to the Volkswagen Golf GTE, so it's pretty much got the same engine and battery. And you can see here also where I've added an aftermarket camera to it so that it's all fully integrated. So here you go. Anything else I can think of? So being a plug-in hybrid, the onboard charger is a 3.7 kilowatt speed. So typically this charges under 2 hours, and it's really nice when you've actually got free electricity. But we charge it every day. We do that less than 20 miles on it on a single trip, and as soon as we come home, we plug it back in. It also comes with a nice OEM cable. I must admit, these are really nice because they don't drag on the ground so easily. So unlike our other car, which we'll talk more about, you can start to see just sometimes having to deal with cable side of things. Let's see if I can just very quickly show you just the wing mirrors at the moment. There we go. The other thing maybe worth mentioning, which every single A3 e-tron came with, so these are the bi-xenon headlights, including cornering lights as well, and these are really good in the dark, which is nice. They don't come with the sweeping indicators, so the later models did have that. And also the rear come with LED lights as well. Again, not sweeping, but really good as well. So I've just unplugged the cable, and just to show you, it's really nice and convenient having the charge port just on the front, and basically just put the Type 2 cover back in. You slide this across, and you close it by twisting. And if I were to lock the car, it actually locks this as well, so even if this is open, it won't actually pop out. But if I then unlock it, there you go, it goes back open again. And that is probably about it. I bet I've forgotten an option or two here, but there you go, Audi A3 e-tron. Fantastic build quality, I should say, yeah, I think you could definitely tell it's an Audi in that regard. We would love it if it had a bit more range. I think some of the new plug-in hybrids that are coming out from Mercedes and BMW, they're definitely starting to go over 30 miles, 40 miles in some cases as well. But for us right now, this is ideal, and yeah, I think the spec in particular is what really sold us on it. So hopefully that just gives you a bit of a view on the Audi A3 e-tron. Very happy to kind of answer any questions on it if anybody has any, and hopefully show you the next vehicle at some point in the near future as well. Thanks a lot, bye.